Okay guys, this is just a video on the ignition switch out of a Ford Courier 2001. This was an Australian model, two-wheel drive. When I would turn my key, the car wouldn't start. You'd have to sort of jiggle the key and sort of push it in and muck around with it. So what I'm going to be doing is just showing you what goes wrong with that switch. I actually just bought a replacement switch. It was $85, which might be expensive for some people. So I'm going to show what's inside this switch, just so that you can have a look at what's inside without having to pull yours apart, because mine sort of worked intermittently, so I could get by with it, but I got a bit over it, so I decided to pull it out and replace it. Okay, so this is the switch. It screws to the barrel housing just with one screw, and the plug's just unplugged from the cables. The switch housing has 3 tabs on it. There's 2 there and one around the other side. If you just pry that off the clip there, and then the other 2 come off quite easily, I recommend holding it this way with the white side down, because there's 6 springs in this which will fly out, and there's 2 ball bearings as well. So if you put it that way, unclip it, then you can lift that off carefully. So there's like a little shaft. There's all contacts on that, which will make it work. Now you've also got 2 copper discs. The little one lifts off the shaft, and you've got 2 springs which hold the top copper disc. Alright, and then you've also got the lower disc, which has 3 springs under it, but you can lift the entire thing out. If you're careful, there are actually 2 ball bearings in that white centerpiece. There goes 1, there goes 2, and that copper piece disc will just lift off, and there's the 3 springs underneath. 3. And on mine, that contact is all burnt out and is actually worn away. If we just flip this, it's not that one, it's on this. These are where the 2 contacts are. That contact there is all burnt, and it's actually worn down a bit. If I hold it, I can see that it's worn a bit. So that's what happened to mine. Yeah, it's probably repairable. You could probably melt some more copper onto that and clean it up, and do the same with the contact there. But I just opted to buy a new one from the local auto spares shop, because I need it for work, so I thought it was worth it. But there you go. And then you've got to remember, actually there was another spring which fell out of mine. I think it goes under here somewhere. I think it holds all of that together, so you have to be cautious of that when you pull it apart too, to check where that is. So that's what's inside the ignition switches, if you were wondering.